I started my week off the same way I do every week by going to school for my 8 a.m. lecture, and this day in particular consisted of a lot of note-taking. After class, my family all got in the car and drove up to our friend's house where my youngest brother and I decided to take the Polaris buggy out for a spin in the woods. We were driving along the trails for well over an hour and then decided to make our way home, where we were greeted by a mom raccoon eating a chunk of pineapple we had left out, and shortly after she came back with her babies. They were all so cute and the babies were adorable. Tuesday mornings are usually the days that I relax in the morning and take the time to work on assignments for my online medical terminology class. On this particular Tuesday, I also had a few errands to run, including going to the car wash. Then later in the afternoon, I went apple picking with my family, which is one of my favorite things to do in the fall. It was a ton of fun, and we were able to go on a wagon ride, pick apples, and then we came home and made an apple pie. Wednesday started off bright and early with my 8 a.m. lecture and a venti iced caramel macchiato from the campus Starbucks. This is definitely my go-to drink on days when I am lagging and need a quick boost of energy. After class, I headed home and was greeted by yet another critter, but this time it was a baby mouse whom I named Archie. He was in a lot of distress when I found him, so I decided to put him in an empty fish tank and gave him some water, some tomato chunks, and also gave him a little fuzzy blanket. I sat with him for a few hours, and once he seemed a little more relaxed, I went outside and set him free so he could find his family. I'm not usually one who likes rodents, but I have to say Archie was adorable and I wish I could have kept him. On Thursday, I finished up all of the online classwork for the week and then decided to head to the lake one last time for the year. When I was there, I found a turtle sitting on a log. I hopped in the boat to head to the island. I dipped my toes in the water. I went fishing with worms off the end of the dock. I hopped in my kayak and drifted with the waves. And of course, it wouldn't be a trip to camp without making s'mores. I ended the day by watching the sunset, but then a storm began coming through, so I hopped back in the car and headed home. I ended the week the same way I started it, by going to school for my 8 a.m. lecture. After class, I decided to make a quick trip to Target where I checked out what was new in the dollar spot, picked up some command strips, looked at some of the new makeup products, and of course left with a cherry icy. Later on in the day, my family and I decided to go to one of the local fairs. While there, I got to see one of my favorite animals, which is alpacas, which is also how we got our squad name, the Allie Pacas. And the alpacas there were rather talkative. There was a workhorse named Joe who powered the manual hay baler, which was really cool to see. And I have to admit, Joe the horse's listening skills were a lot better than my own. There was also about an hour's worth of harness racing we watched. We were able to visit a maple shack that had my favorite maple cotton candy, which of course I had to get. And there were also some adorable show cows. And that was my week.